What I think is really interesting is artists linked to expressing yourself. You can physically decide to put on some piece of music and express whatever comes up there, or you could work through a mood that you've got, or focus on a mood. So expressing complex emotions, and often they change as you actually express them. So have you ever done a piece of art where you thought, right, I am feeling this and I'm going to go into the studio and I'm going to almost paint it out, or paint, So do you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I've done that.
Actually, quite recently as well, I've just started a canvas that's quite different for me. It's a bit more on the abstracty side.
Yeah.
And that was really at a point in my life where I'd handed my notice in my day job, and obviously now I'm self-employed as an artist. But it was really kind of giving myself that freedom to be able to express all the excitement that I was feeling. And it might be that it doesn't actually turn into a piece of artwork that I want to sell. It might just be that the canvas was there for me in that time to get something down, because I was almost overspilling with emotions about the whole thing, because, as you know, Debs,
It's a big thing.
It's massive. It's a massive turning point in my life.
Yeah.
So, definitely. And I didn't go into that canvas with any kind of plans about what was going to be on it. I just thought, I'm just going to let loose and give myself freedom to be able to use it to really express what I'm feeling at the moment. So yeah, I've definitely had that experience, and I think it's a really important part of art that you can always come to it no matter what mood you're in, whether you're not feeling great. I find it energizing after I've finished painting, even if I'm feeling like, oh, I'm a bit run down today, I've got loads of stuff on. If I take the time out to do my painting, I always come away feeling more energised after it.
I think it sort of frees up your mind.
Does, yeah. Gives you a bit of space, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. Yeah. Might be hard to describe, a little bit like, we will come on to meditation, but a little bit like that. And it's not just to do with flow, something else. I think it's to do with connection.
Yeah.
I think it's to do with... I think although it appears like the internet means that we're completely connected to the world all the time, not sure that's the same sort of connection.
No.
So my art now is about nature, and you're a nature-inspired artist as well.
Yeah.
And that's to do with how, you know, when you're going out and you're going for a walk and it's a lovely day and you're just soaking up that the feel of the sun and the sound.
Yeah.
Yes, there isn't, is there? And that's what I'm trying to portray in the art. The art that's mine is to do with, it is that connection to the world.
Is. Yeah, and about being in the moment and being present.
Yes.
And for me, it's also about feeling things and acknowledging your feelings as well. When you are in nature, I think it's easier to do that somehow. You feel more grounded.
Yeah.
And as part of being, because you're around nature.
Definitely. And I think that we lose that with the internet. And
oh, definitely. Yeah. It's not that same genuine connection, is it?
No. I feel like that moves us on to meditation, you know.
Yeah, it does quite nicely.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I suppose the similarities between the creative process, painting, whatever it is that you do, and meditation, there's quite a lot of overlap, isn't there, Debs, in terms of the feeling that you get when you're being creative, giving yourself that space.
Yeah, definitely. So when you're in flow, when the painting almost paints itself, at that point, that feels for certain to meditation.
Yeah.
So what we mean by, for those who aren't aware of what in flow is, it's when you're getting out of your own way. So you're not analysing a painting and you're tapping into your intuition, which is what we talked about in the last episode. So at that point, the feel is very, very similar to meditating. And that obviously is documented, that meditation is good for your health. And I think it's just very, very similar, the health benefits.
Yeah. I think it's about being present and allowing yourself just to have the space to do something that's creative, isn't it? That puts your mindset into a different place.
Yeah. And I think that it's an active meditation.
Yeah, because you're not just kind of sat there and you're actually doing something.
Yeah. So it sounds a bit woo-woo, but it isn't. It's just the way that you're tapping into that part of your brain that is bringing together all of those experiences from your life. And that's creativity when it works. And you can see it with people. They go quiet. If I'm teaching and you go into that state, it's very difficult to talk.
Yeah, yeah.
I was trying to demonstrate in a workshop a couple of weeks ago how to place down a mark just from feeling like the mark should go there. Do you speak at the same time? It really doesn't work.
No.
Because that's using a different part of your brain.
Yeah.
It's really interesting.
Yeah. And I've also heard musicians say things like good songs write themselves.
Yes.
And it's just a process of getting out of your own way and just letting it come to you.
Yes. Yeah. It definitely works, and you can learn to do it as well. But you have to, in the same way as you can learn to meditate. It's a very, very similar thing to learn, if that makes sense.
Yeah. It does take practice though, doesn't it, of letting go of that control and
absolutely
getting into the right kind of mindset to let it flow, because it can feel quite unnatural as well from our usual way of being in 2024.
Although I think we're having to do a little bit more of the mindset things, aren't we, in order to be able to cope with how fast it is.
Absolutely. The other thing that comes to mind as well when we've been speaking is that whole problem-solving piece that I think creativity can help with. And I suppose it's around, again, giving yourself more space to think, but combining that logical side of your brain and the creative side of your brain. I've definitely found that just being creative has helped me solve all sorts of problems in my life and helped the way that I think about things as well, give me different perspectives on things.
So you can be more creative in art, but that'll make you more creative in, like you say, problem solving in life. That a lot of this is relevant to people who are thinking outside the box, like inventors or engineers or scientists. It's not just about the arts. Although we did discuss earlier, so I think we could come back to that, the expressing complex emotions. So art is about expressing yourself. Is it always about expressing emotions? Or is it about expressing how you see the world?
Yeah, it could. I suppose it could also be a perspective on something. So it might be more on the political or social side of things. So not necessarily specifically talking about emotions, but it might be something that's politically charged, for example. But it definitely, for me,
it's about expressing
an idea or an emotion.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I still think that those other fields is again about expressing an idea, creating something.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I'm just looking at the links. It's interesting.
It's fascinating, isn't it?